Page 27, Aura Lee, very famous melody. At the top of the page, they're introducing you to a thing we use in music called slurs, a slur. Now, relax, because this gets confusing. I'm serious, it gets confusing. We're going to have fun with it, though. A slur is indicated with a curved line. They show an example at the top there, over 2 or more notes, a slur. It's not the same as a tie. A tie is a curved line also, but that's only 2 notes and they have to be the same note. This is 2 or more notes, but they're different notes. That's a slur. Well, just to keep things fun, and that curved line is used for other things too. So let's just take it slow and easy. They try and explain a little bit about slurs and phrases up at the top, but again, they're trying to keep it simple for you, and in doing so, they're misleading you a little bit. It's not exactly accurate what they're saying up there. So I'm going to confuse you because I prefer to be as accurate as I can. I already talked about musical sentences, which are phrases, before. I introduced them already to you. Because you don't need a curved line on a phrase. You can hear the phrase, you just do it. But a lot of phrases are indicated with a curved line. That's another thing the curved line is for, to indicate a phrase. But a phrase and a slur is not the same thing. That's the confusing part. The curved line is used to indicate a slur. It can be used to indicate a phrase. Doesn't have to be. You can have phrases without it. So let's just understand the difference here. The musical sentence, the musical thought, is a phrase. It may or may not have a curved line. A slur is where they are telling you to connect the notes. You can't have any space between the notes. They say smooth and connected. Well, forget smooth. We don't do smooth on piano. Piano is a percussive. Each note, it's hitting the string. Boom, boom, boom. There's no slurring. There's no smooth in that. If you had a violin or a wind instrument and you can play multiple notes without tonguing, you just connect the notes, that's smooth. But on a piano, forget it. It's not smooth. But we can connect them. So there's no silence between them. That's the best we can do. Well, on a slur, that's what you do. You just connect the notes. Now, gets better. Just hang in there. With phrases, you'll lift up between the phrases so we can hear the phrase. It's like taking a breath, just a little lift, like so. With slurs, you may or may not lift up. Well, with a slur, you're going to connect all the notes. But with a phrase, you may or may not connect the notes. It depends on what the music needs. Now, is this confusing or what? Don't you just love it? You're going to love music. Let's look at Aura Lee. They've got phrasing marked in here, the slur lines. That is how I take it as part of my process of learning a new piece of music. I add those in what I call, or not I call, it's called articulation. Articulation is how you play the note, sort of. It's not technique on how you play it. It's how you interpret the note, I should say. And that's where I add the phrasing. It's another step in this process of learning. So we have to add this step now, because remember, we added dynamics to our step later or earlier on. Now we got to add articulation in there too. And I'll get to it when I get to the articulation part of learning this. So let's look at Aura Lee and look this piece over first. It's 2 lines long, treble and bass clef, 4/4 times. We got quarter notes, half notes, and whole notes. I see the left hand is playing all of the first line, and the right hand is playing all of the second. Okay, let's check the notes and rhythms then. On the first of it, the little finger and the left hand's here, then put your hand here. And it is quarter notes. And right now, connect everything. When I do this, I connect everything. And then in the second line, the right hand starts here and here. And we do this. It's almost the same as the first line. But again, when I'm first learning a piece of music and getting the notes down, I play everything connected. We'll add in all the other junk later. And I'll explain a little more about why we're connecting it as we go through the book, where we're seeing it and it's easier for you to understand what I'm saying. I don't like having to keep describing things. I want to be able to show it to you. So just know that when I'm first learning a piece of music, I connect all the notes. Then when I have the notes and rhythms, then I add the articulation. See, I do the articulation before I do the dynamics. So articulation, and in this case, it's the slurs and the phrases. Well, they're telling you the first two measures are going to be slurred, and then you lift up before you go to the third measure. Here, let the wrist lead on this. You're down and then up. The wrist is leading on these. You don't have to go way down and way up. It's just keep the flexible wrist. So I'm down at the beginning and I'm staying down. Then I'm lifting up. Just like taking a breath. And then the second line, it's all one. So when I finish the first line, before I play the C, I'm going to lift up. So like taking a breath. Now in this case, there's curved lines for the slurs are also phrases. It could be both, but it didn't have to be. So you have two phrases or two musical sentences in the first line, and then one musical sentence in the last line. You simply lift up. Now we add the dynamics, and that's MF, mezzo forte, medium loud, moderately loud, sort of loud, not loud, just sort of loud, whatever you think that is, and that's where it is. Now, a word of warning on these, you've had these before, but now we have the slur and we're trying to connect it. When you have repeated notes on a piano, you can't connect them. Well, there's a way, but it's very advanced. It doesn't work on all pianos and something. I don't want to do it. Just assume you cannot, like in the second line, second measure, when you're playing two G's, you can't connect those. You get as close as you can. Just get as close as you can. That's the best we can do. Let's play this together slowly and double check the notes and the rhythms. This is after you've learned it now, and you can play it without hesitations, and you can play it without looking at the keyboard and all that. Now let's try it together. I'll give us 4 counts. 1, 2, ready, go. 2, 3, 4, off.